This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday. This is Walt Disney World Today. I'm your host, Matt Hochberg of MGMstudios.org. On the show tonight is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
I'm back again.
Well, you can go back to the bathroom because
right.
Scope is coming up next with his intro.
Good,
So.
I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Also on the show is Mike Scope of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
If you look up ahead, you'll see a temple. I'm not sure what could be inside of it. Could be anything from snakes to tigers, but I'll make an educated guess. Since we're at Disney World, it'll probably be just a gift shop. We'll check and see.
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
And also on tonight's show is Steve Seifert of TikiMan2001.net. Welcome back, Steve.
Aloha.
And on today's show, we're talking about annual passes. We've talked about annual passes in the past, but we get a lot of questions about annual passes, and we decided we were going to go through all of our emails that are, well, of course, our emails are never old, and we answer our emails in a prompt fashion. So we had to get some really new questions about annual passes, and a lot of our listeners sent some in. So this is the an annual pass holder question show extravaganza. So we're going to be taking the time to answer some of these. And the first one comes from Robert, who writes, I know when you buy an annual pass, you get a voucher that you must redeem at the park for your real pass, but can you book a room with the voucher and buy a meal discount card? If so, do you need to redeem the voucher, or if not, could you use the same voucher over a year later to do the same thing, since I know the voucher does not expire until 1 year after you redeem it? That is interesting. Well, let's answer the first part of the question, and that is, can you book a room with the voucher?
I don't know why you couldn't. I know that.
Yeah, I've done it with the voucher before,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you have to present the voucher. I know you have to present the annual pass when you check in.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Not every cast member behind the check-in desk will ask for your annual pass.
Right.
Right. That's more human error than it's
Well,
unscientific.
Well, I take that back. Maybe they do if you haven't gone down 3 or 4 times within the year and going to the same resort, because I've never asked for my annual pass at Scopa Towers, but
That's because your picture's behind the counter over
true.
there.
I mean, if you're in the system and your system already has you down as an annual pass, if you've already been there like previously within the last 12 months and they have you down as having an active annual pass, maybe that's why they would not ask you for your for proof that you have an annual pass.
Well, here's what I'm saying. If you have, this is something that Robert brings up. Let's say you buy an annual pass voucher. Now, mind you, you're not going to get in the park, but theoretically, you could take the voucher, and if they accept the voucher as proof of annual pass for room discounts, for getting the Disney Dining Experience card, and for other annual pass perks like that, then one could conceivably use this one annual pass voucher indefinitely. Now, of course, you wouldn't be able to get in the park, which would probably be, defeat the purpose of getting it. But does that make sense? Technically, that could happen, right?
Technically, it could.
Yeah, assuming that those things fall. I know that a lot of when you at the time of booking, it's okay. You don't even have to have a voucher. You just have to present it again when you pick things up. I know that when you go to get the Disney Dining Experience card, which is what Robert refers to, the meal discount card, it's perfectly okay to have a voucher. They just need proof that you've forked over, what do the annual passes go for? $300-400, whatever they go for these days, for for the card. So to answer Robert's question, yes, you can book a room or buy the Disney Dining Experience card with it. Although we're not particularly sure if you can use the if you have to present the actual pass or the voucher. For some reason, I'm thinking that you have to present the annual pass when you're getting the room, and not the voucher.
You're supposed to, yes.
Yeah, that's why.
So you're taking the chance that if you book the room and you decide not to turn in your voucher for the actual annual pass, and then you go check in, I guess you're taking the chance that if the person does what they're supposed to do and checks and asks for it, I would assume they could pull the discount.
Yeah, they could.
Or make you go activate your annual pass.
That's what I was. Yeah, they'll say, well, go to the park and activate. Now again, of course, if you check in at if you're coming in at 11 o'clock at night on a late flight, I mean it's Disney. I don't think they're gonna I would think you'd be able to, but I mean it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean if you're gonna use the voucher and then what are you gonna do when you're at the hotel? Just sit in the pool all day? I mean you could, but
Now this last December we actually had to pick up our actual annual pass at the International Gateway, and then go through to the front of Epcot and use the actual annual pass to pick up our dining card.
Right.
Our dining experience.
Disney Dining Experience card, yep.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next question from Nate, who writes, other than moving to Florida, is there any way to get a discount on the purchase of an annual pass?
Yes. If you're a DVC member. And I think Mr. Newell could probably tell us a little bit about that. I think you get about $100 off the price, don't you, Mike?
It is $100 off, yes. I just purchased mine. I'd have to look up what I paid for it, but it was $100 off what the regular rate is.
Well, you should tell them what the perk used to be.
Oh, you used to get, depending on the size of the room, you got passes.
Free annual passes, right?
No, not an annual pass. You got free length of stay passes.
Oh, interesting.
So if
that was discontinued,
2000.
2000.
Yeah. I joined in 93, so I had 7 years of free passes. It was quite lovely.
So you just renewed it, Mike?
I did. I renewed it. When did I renew?
$323.76.
For DVC? That's about right.
Yep.
It's still a good deal.
Oh, yeah.
Nate also wants to know, if I purchase an annual pass voucher before my trip, where do I go to redeem the voucher for the actual pass?
Jeez, a whole bunch of
That's
places.
the guest relations at any of the parks.
Yep.
I know you cannot do it at the hotel, we kind of talked about that before. For some reason, it's kind of odd that they can't. You would think they would be able to, but you have to redeem them at guest relations at the park. And I know at the studios.
What about the Transportation Ticket Center? Oh, I guess that would be the entrance.
That's the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like a Transportation Center. In Epcot, it's going to be guest relations, which if you're facing the entrance, it's to the right. At the studios, guest relations is to the left. Anyone know where it is in Animal Kingdom?
Yes, it's on the leftmost side as you walk in. It's to the left of the leftmost turnstile.
The left of the left. Yep. Go ahead, Steve.
Also, as I mentioned, we got ours at the International Gateway.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yes,
forgot.
that's
Good,
right.
good point. There's a second entrance to Epcot, so you can also get it over there. Next one is from Rita Sanders, who writes, I'm buying a premium annual pass. Are any discounts available?
Yes, again, this is the DVC. I think you get, for the premium annual pass, DVC members get $125 off the regular price.
Rita's from Peoria, Illinois, so she's not going to be eligible for any regional discounts, such as living in Florida.
Premium annual pass is very expensive. It's almost $600.
Yeah, you've really got to get your money's worth by going to either Pleasure Island or
parks.
Or the water
Is water
parks.
part of it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's premium annual pass right there. I mean, you've got to go down. I mean, first of all, you have to go down to Disney World quite a bit often than I think a regular annual pass holder, and you've got to stay longer, or you just like we said, you got to be in love with the water parks or or Pleasure Island. But obviously, you're not going to get your money's back in Pleasure Island as quick as you would with the water parks.
Yeah.
But I wonder, you got to wonder what the cutoff is over there for a premium annual pass, because there's a certain amount of days. What did we? I mean, depending on.
Usually about 10, Matt. 8 to 10.
Yeah, 10. I mean, not including any room discounts or anything like that. That would, obviously hurry the discount, breaking even point rather, coming that up. But the water parks, I mean, if you have 10 days, I mean, it's interesting. I'm sure, if we had Len over here and didn't skip our show, we would have that kind of information. But it's probably throws into a whole different equation right there. The next question is, speaking of water parks, Scopa, did you go to the water parks?
I haven't been to the water park since the late 90s.
Okay.
I love the water parks. The only
Just don't
time we
have
haven't
the time.
gone is winter.
I've only been to Blizzard Beach. I haven't been to Typhoon Lagoon yet.
Oh, I've been to Typhoon Lagoon. I mean, you've never been to the wave pool? That's wild.
Yeah, that is fun.
Wave
Shark
pools don't do
Tank.
anything for me. No Shark Tank. I don't take my life in my own hands. No, but wave is the wave pool really that cool?
It's pretty cool, but it's even more cool to try to talk to one of the lifeguards who's standing way above. There's about 12 or 14 lifeguards, and you're not supposed to talk to them, or they'll shoot you or whatever, because they need to keep.
They'll shoot.
It's
keep
kind of
their
like the
eyes
guards
on
over
the water.
in England.
Yeah, like changing of the guard. Well, I did get a chance to talk with one of them one time, and he said one of the problems, he says it's the most difficult job in Walt Disney World is to be a lifeguard at the wave pool at the Typhoon Lagoon, because when a wave hits, you never can tell if people are in distress or they're just horsing around, and it's very, very stressful.
Yeah, pretty much everybody looks like they're drowning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting because I guess you got to wait for the telltale sign. You got to wait until it's almost too late. You know what I mean?
Dead
Well,
man's
it's the ones
float.
that aren't moving
Yeah.
are just kind of floating. Those are the ones that you probably have to jump in and save.
Yeah, exactly. Although I'm sure you got to know that there's you got to see someone walk in the pool and be like, all right, better take the shirt off because I'm going in.
I think they're all they are assigned to watch certain areas of the pool. They can't all watch the whole pool, so there are certain. I think there's at least 8 of them, maybe even as many as 12, who just stand way above, just look down at the wave pool and just watch everybody. And they're like Men in Black.
Next email is actually a tip and a question from Brian, who writes the tip: if there's a specific advertised offer at the Disney Pass holder site, for example, $59 at a value resort during during value season, you follow the link as if you're reserving room for the special. You can change hotels and see the annual pass rates for other properties, but you can't move outside the date window for the advertised offer. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think what
Okay.
they have in there is just navigational abilities regarding what they have for specials and the dates for those specials.
Okay. Brian's question is, though, do you know of a URL that isn't limited to the date range for the special offer for annual pass holders?
Yeah, mouthsavers.com.
Yeah, that's probably the best place. I mean, I don't even check Disney's website. It's Mouse Savers or I contact my travel agent. That is my new favorite thing, by the way. Is just having the travel agent do it. That's about just. I have an annual pass. Figure out my cheapest rate for me.
That's the best thing about a travel agent in the first place. For years, I booked my trips myself and planned everything, and thought, what do I need a travel agent for? But
Exactly.
looking for those discounts. I mean, they're on it every day, all the time, and it's like that's just time I don't have to spend.
Exactly. Oh, it's great. Especially when the new rates come out later in the, you'll book it in, for a trip, say in July, let's say in January, and then, special rates come out in, March, and, if you're not aware of it, even if you are, you aren't, they apply it on the day that it comes out, so that's a pretty nifty little feature there. Next question's from Gary, who writes, I'm going to be attending a convention in December where I'll be having a 3-day park hopper as part of the event. Was thinking of upgrading using this 3-day hopper to an annual pass for the year. Doable, or are convention passes usually discounted in such a way that they will not be allowed to be applied towards a new ticket?
I don't think Disney's going to refuse anyone who says, hey, tell me how much this is worth and tell me how much more money I have to give you in order to get an annual pass. So I don't think there'd be any problem.
Yeah, I would say, go for it. And if anything, Gary, we've noticed, Mike, I'm sure you've experienced this. Sometimes we've had questions about tickets, and we talk to cast member A, and then we'll talk to cast member B, who will give us somewhat of a different answer.
Yeah.
So especially with something like this, if you don't get the answer you're looking for, keep trying back, and I think you'll eventually find someone who's willing to accommodate you.
I can see somebody checking into a hotel right now with that advice. Who's going to give me a rate of $200 a night?
Yeah, no, it really doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't really work quite that way, but yeah. Well, that's all the annual pass questions we've got time for at this point. But
I've got an interesting comment about annual passes though that I found. Twice we've had annual passes for Florida, even though I live in California. And we were down at Disneyland for the opening of the Space Mountain once they changed it. And they were selling the commemorative tickets for the 50-year anniversary. And it was only for annual pass holders. So we went over to the line and we said, well, if you're an annual pass holder at Walt Disney World, can you get in the line to purchase the ticket? Because it's not like they're giving you anything or a discount. They're just allowing you to buy the ticket.
Right.
And so they said, let me check on it. They went inside and they said, no, you have to be a Disneyland annual pass holder. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I think the Disneyland annual pass is like half or less the cost of a Walt Disney World annual pass. So I'm thinking, all
you
this
forked over the money.
and I can't get in line. I've given it to Disney, and I can't get in line to purchase something from you guys. And we even found out, well, is there like a California state discount for or rate or a discount for the annual pass, and it's only for Southern California, so it's not even the whole state. So it's funny how different things are handled out in California compared to Florida. It's almost like they're two different companies.
Well, that's why, Steve, you go and stay at the Polynesian, not the Disneyland Hotel.
That's right.
You stay there, get your room at the Congaluga room or house or whatever. And
is that next to that other building that you told me about that I've never heard of?
Well, those buildings, I'm quite familiar with the South Pacific names.
You must be.
Well, that's it for us today. If you want to listen to older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your compliments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Ewell, and Steve Seifert, I'm Matt Hodgberg. We'll see you on the next show.